Hello, top tier trader family. Brittany Hughes here, and I am so excited to host today's top tier virtual interview. We're getting quite comfortable in my home. I feel like most of the interviews I've done recently have been from this chair in my home versus the studio. But today's interview, in honor of Father's Day coming up, I have not only a top tier funded trader, but also a top tier dad to speak with us today. And again, Hayden, I just want to say thank you so much for opting in to do this interview. Welcome to Top Tier Interviews. How are you today?
Thank you. Thank you for having me on. And it's a blessing to finally be here over the crazy journey that I've had.
Yeah. I'm really excited for this conversation. Y'all, Hayden has his son literally right next to him sleeping. So if you hear any background noises, um, that's him. But I want to first and foremost start out by asking you if you can reveal the biggest payout that, well, one, what you're funded with, what account size you're funded with through Top Tier Trader, as well as your biggest payout so far. We'll start there.
Yeah. So I am funded with 300K. Um, I'm like, if this trade in NAS right now goes good, I'll be funded with another 200K. So I'll have
Okay.
500K in funding.
Amazing.
Um, and then my biggest payout was 24,900, which was a couple weeks ago.
A couple
So
weeks ago. That's incredible. And let everyone, if you don't mind, how old your son is, because I think that's really incredible that you got your payout a couple weeks ago. And how old is your son?
my son is 11 weeks old, and
Wow.
then I also have a 3.5-year-old daughter. So
Okay.
she's at school right now, and then I get to man the helm here with the little boy.
That's
So,
awesome. That's awesome. Well, again, first of all, congratulations on your payout. Congratulations on your newborn son. And congratulations on, I mean, at the end of the day, when it comes to trading, you and I both know it's not an overnight success. So I want to congratulate you on your success that you've had thus far. Can you take us back a little bit and kind of take us back to the beginning of your journey? When did you start learning how to trade? How long ago was it?
about 3 years ago, 3.5 years ago, saw some people on social media starting to make some decent money, and I jumped into HFX first
Okay.
and kind of was learning that risk $40 to make $18. And I pushed that pretty hard. I had a European broker, made $8,500 pretty quick. And I was like, wow, holy shit, like I can make money. And
What were you doing
I s-
before trading?
I was a salesperson, still am, for a business consulting firm.
Okay.
And then I've left them from now and I run my own businesses now, but
Okay.
I was doing that, making good money. So luckily, when I got into trading, it wasn't like I have to make money. So that
Mhm.
emotional roller coaster wasn't there at the beginning. So I think that's why I did really well at the beginning on HFX. And then I submitted my first payout and I submitted like 6 grand of the 8,600. And they shut down my account saying I was fraud, submitted my IDs. And I was like, oh my gosh, like, and so many people warned me not to do like more than 2 grand because it's a European broker. I'm like, what? No.
Sure.
And that was a gut check. And so I took a step back and was like, hey, let's start researching US companies. Let's start just paper trading, get better at what I'm doing.
Hmm.
I didn't touch a chart, like paid money for like a year and a half, just back testing, just paying mentors, trying to like really learn the whole process of everything.
Yeah, I was gonna ask,
Um,
did you suck out other like mentors who were trading already in the space? Were you self-taught?
Yeah, so I was self-taught for the first year, just watching YouTube videos and
Yeah.
reading babypips.com and trying to do as much research as I could.
Yeah.
My wife trades too, so she was like back testing stuff and we were just bouncing back and forth off each other, and then we actually paid Anthony Williams and
Okay.
he did like a little launch course for I think it was like $1,000 just to kind of test 1 week boot camp, and that expedited our process of actually learning the high time frame swing trades that he was doing, and that initiated my like liking into like, okay, he's like an owner in top tier, like maybe I'll buy an account, and bought a few 50K accounts, got funded, got really emotional and lost them faster than I was like, oh my gosh. So it's been a lot of trial and error, but finally journaling my trades and sticking to my processes and starting to make a lot more money. So it's been
That's
a roller coaster,
awesome.
that's for sure.
Yeah. And have you always traded through funded accounts, or have you also tried trading with your own personal capital as well?
Just funded. Yeah,
Okay.
just funded. I don't know if it's a mental block, but like in my head, I'm like, I want to get to 50 to 100K to where I can just drop on a live account and continue trading the way that I am trading
Sure.
rather than working backwards and doing the math of like, how many lots can I actually risk? Um, so hopefully here in the next 3 to 4 months, I'll drop 100 grand in a live account and
That's awesome.
go
I
for
mean,
it.
at the end of the day, I think that while prop firms are here, and I think that we're definitely seeing a shift in the prop space in the last like 9 months. Things have changed
Hmm.
quite drastically. But
Oh yeah.
I do believe the prop firm space is here to stay. Now, what that'll look like in the next 9 months, I don't know, but I think they'll still be around. While they're here, being able to leverage them and to use them to your advantage to build up that capital to then drop in. I mean, it's a big difference from trading, $1,000 live to trading $100,000 live. And once you're
Yeah.
able to kind of
Oh yeah.
see, granted, prop firms are, simulated accounts, but once you're able to kind of see that simulated capital in that account, I think it exposes you to what's possible with that level of capital. So that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's the path that you're going towards, and that's what you're working towards. When it comes to your trading on a like a day-to-day basis, what session are you trading? What are you looking for?
Yeah. Yeah. So I always trade New York.
Okay.
Um, for some reason, every time I touch Asian or London, I get smacked.
Hmm.
So I just stick with New York, and I trade ICT,
Okay.
um, looking out for those breakouts, and but at the same time, I do pretty well looking at just breaker blocks and trends, just trading with the trend, going off of a 15 minutes liquidity sweep, coming down looking for that breaker bar block or inverse fair value gap. And once it breaks off that, taking it for, I average like a 3 to 1, 4 to 1. So
Okay.
it's all similarities, but everything that I've tried, the best success that I've had is with kind of like that ICT strategy. So
Got it. And what pairs are you trading? What instruments?
only NAS. So I
Okay.
stick to NAS. Starting to dabble in a little bit of gold, but mainly just NAS.
Okay, great. You mentioned earlier that when you first got started in the prop space, and let's say you bought a few 50K accounts through top tier, got really emotional. Obviously, from that point to now having a nearly $25,000 payout, you've had to figure out how to manage those emotions. Do you have anything that you've done that you can share that you find that yeah that you found has helped you with that?
Yeah, just let it hit stop loss.
Yeah. That's it.
set set your stop loss and let it hit, because there's always a better entry. So I started back testing, and when I started journaling my trades, it started to help me realize that I was just getting in way too early. I was like, oh
Mm,
shoot, that initial move, that manipulation, the trap was trapping me. I was the
yeah,
liquidity trap. And when I let the trade play out, even if I was getting in a little late and I was going a 2 to 1 instead of a 5 or 6 to 1, trying to get that home run trade, if
sure.
I just let it play out a little bit more and then take the solidified confluences, take the entry, let it run, I was still winning. And I was minimizing my losses. Where when I blew those 50K accounts, I'd either move my stop, it hit the stop, And then I'm like, oh, I still got a grand, and then take another entry, and it's like, my gosh. So yeah, I've come to the point to where just allowing myself to either one, let it hit stop, or it's okay to be late, and just accept that a 1-to-1 or a 2-to-1's okay. And you don't always have to chase those massive trades. And I think that's what's addicting for trading is a lot of people post those 10-to-1s, those 25-to-1s, and people are like, they made 200 grand, holy.
Mm.
And you can want to go after those, and the consistency in 3-to-1s and 2-to-1s made me the 25 grand, not the 20-to-1s.
Yeah.
So that's the biggest advice is don't chase trades. Like don't force it. Play the market. If it hits stop loss, oh well, hopefully you did a 0.5% risk or 1% risk. So you can take another entry at a better entry point.
It comes down to self-awareness, right? And being aware of what those things are for you, like what those holes in your mentality are, in your strategy are. You mentioned trade journaling. How impactful has that been for you? Because for me, it's been, there's a significant difference in my trading when I'm journaling versus when I'm not journaling.
Night and day, night
Mm.
and day. Because writing that idea out forces you to minimize your risk of taking that 50-50 trade. It definitely gut checks your confidence to making sure that you're taking that confident trade. It definitely stopped me from being that fire from the hip, just like, oh, it's here and going when high time frame it's bullish, but I'm trying to go bearish. And if I would have taken a step back, go through my confluences, write it down, and then be like, okay, cool, let's go.
Mm-hmm.
It's definitely minimized my losses.
How has being a dad impacted your approach or mindset towards trading? Now, I know you have a rather newborn and you said you have a 3-year-old daughter. So you've had and you said you've been trading for about 3 years. So
Yeah,
your entire trading career, you have been a father. So yeah, I'm interested to know how has that impacted your approach or your mindset towards trading, if at all.
a lot. I come from humble beginnings, but to a point of where like my parents did everything they could to give us the opportunities to succeed. And I watched my parents work 2 to 3 jobs, 120 hours a week. We were hanging out
Mm.
with grandma all the time. And so once I had my daughter, getting to the point of financial freedom, which allows me to time freedom to take my daughter to school at 9 o'clock this morning, to come make this interview, to come put my kid down to sleep, and then let my wife go to the gym, and knowing that I have the rest of the day just to relax and spend time with my family was a big mind shift when she came because I was doing all right with my other businesses and sales, and but I still had to work. If I wasn't
Mhm.
working, I wasn't making money. And with this, knowing I can set a trade, whether it's at 5 o'clock in the morning pre-market or if it's during the market, if I see a trade, and just setting alerts, whether it's stop loss, whether it's TP, and then go about my business, go make my daughter food, go be present because
Mhm.
we only have so much time. It was a big eye-opening experience when I was working my butt off and I had a newborn, and my wife was like, we're in Arizona. We don't have family down here. It's just us. So I'm going to work. I'm going to the office. And then she's calling me. I'm overwhelmed. I'm like, I got to get home. I got to help. Just that gut wrenching feeling of wanting to be present was a big mindset shift once the kids came.
That's awesome. I mean, I've it again, I've had interviews with mothers for Mother's Day, and I asked them a very similar question as well. And it's the base and the foundation of each of the answers has just been the time and the presence that they get to have with their children. And most of it actually also came from their own experience of not really getting that with their parents, not be it's just strictly because of circumstance, right? And so
Mm.
having the opportunity and like being able to take control of that and say like, hey, this is something that I feel like I do have a sense of control over, and this is what I'm doing about it. And for so many people, it has been trading. And I think that's one of the most beautiful things about this industry to me, is that yes, you see the people posting their new, new cars on the gram, or whatever flashy thing it is. But I mean, at the core of it, at for me, and the most important thing is to have that time, financial, and location freedom to do what it is you want to do with the people that you want to do it with at any point in time. So that's awesome, Hayden.
That's
For
awesome.
anyone who is in the position, let's say they're either a new father or they are an expecting father, or maybe they've been a father for 10 20 plus years, but they are looking to get into trading to kind of unlock that thing that you've been able to unlock. What piece of advice would you give to them who are just getting started in it?
Zero to hero is a fallacy, especially in trading, because you got to learn the emotional intelligence around it. Um, Paper trade, get some demo accounts, pay a mentor. If you have 2 to 5 grand, go pay someone who's done what you want to do. Be a sponge, learn from them, learn everything you can, go back test trades. And then when you're confident enough paper trading, go take that go take that chance on a 50K account, and it's only like 350 bucks. Like that is nothing compared to you trying to go put 5 to 10 grand into a live account and then possibly blowing it while you're learning. Go buy a 50K account, take a half a lot trade, do a quarter lot trade, and build that confidence. And then once you get funded, it's all uphill from there. But just go slow. It doesn't happen overnight. If people say it does, it doesn't. Just go slow. Go slow and you'll be profitable.
Thank you, Hayden. And again, I want to congratulate you on your successes up to this point, and just knowing that if you maintain the mindset that you have, that I mean, this is literally only the beginning for you. So again, I want to say thank you so much. If you don't mind, please let people know where they can find you online.
Yeah, no, I don't mind at all. You guys can look me up on Instagram. That's all I got. I'm old school. It's just Hayden Weichers, just my full name, and I am private. But if you want to follow me, I'll follow you and follow you back and see my little farm life I got here in Arizona.
Thank you. Thank you, Hayden. And thank you so much to our top tier community for tuning in to these top tier interviews. Again, I gain so much value from conducting these interviews, have them be virtual or have them be in person. And it's very special to be able to connect with people who are actually within the top tier community, who are funded, who are affiliates with the community, because these are the people who are, this is top tier, right? This is Top Tier Trader. And again, make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Every single Friday, we are releasing new interviews just like this to provide more value to the community. So thank you so much. And Hayden, thank you for joining us today.
Thanks, Brittany. Thanks for having me.
Cool. Bye, everyone.